Okay, so today we are talking in our geography class about the different regions of Texas, and we're going to talk about the capital. So our objectives today is I will be able to identify Texas and its capital, and I will be able to discuss a state, its capital, and the region that it's in. So today we'll focus on Texas because we are in the great state of Texas. So just some reviews. These are all the different regions of the United States. So can anybody tell me a state that we talked about in the southeast? Awesome, yes. Tennessee is in the southeast. Okay, what about the northeast? What was the state that we talked about in its capital in the northeast? That's right, Maine is in the northeast. In the Midwest, we talked about that last week. Does anybody remember any of the states in the Midwest? Hint, there's two that have the same word at the end of it. That's right, North Dakota and South Dakota. And then lastly, we talked about the West. So something weird, remember we talked about Alaska and Hawaii. They're in the West as well, even though on this map, they're below this West column. So now we're going to be talking about the Southwest. So can anybody tell me about a state that is in the Southwest? That's right, Texas is in the Southwest. So we are down here, right? In the lovely state of Lubbock, we're kind of up towards the top. All right, so again, this is going to be some review. So these are all the different 50 states and its capitals. So can anybody tell me what the capital of Texas is? We talked about it a little bit whenever we were going over all the capitals. Okay, so it isn't Houston, but it is Austin. So we'll talk about Austin today and kind of some fun facts about Austin. But does anybody want to name a state that they remember the capital of? Okay, so Nashville is the capital of Tennessee. That's right. All right, so let's start talking about Texas, and let's think, how big is Texas? So we live in Lubbock, and that is at the top of Texas, right? And Austin, back on our map, if we look, Austin's kind of down here. Texas, compared to all the states in the United States, is pretty big, right? That's right. So some fun facts about Texas, and y'all will be writing this down on your worksheet in front of you. Make sure that our eyes are open, mouths are closed. We're looking up at the board. So Texas is 268,597 miles long. Texas has 28 million and 0.3 million citizens. So how does that compare to other places? So where do y'all think Texas would fit in if we put it on top of whenever we talked about the Northeast? How big do you think Texas will be on that Northeast? Pretty big, right? Do you think that it's going to cover all of the Northeast, or do you think it's going to just cover a little bit of it? Yeah, definitely. I think it will definitely see. So let's look at some pictures. So right now this is the United States and a picture of Texas. So where is Texas on the United States right now? What region is it in? That's right, it's kind of in between the northeast and the southeast little regions. So is Texas covering a lot of different states over there? Is there a state that's fully covered by Texas? There's a few, right? Yep, West Virginia, Kentucky, those are a few that are covered completely by Texas in the northeast. All right, so here's another picture of Texas covering a part of the United States. So this is going to be over California and Nevada. So you see that Texas even goes outside of the United States. It goes into the ocean as well. And then Lubbock is going to be up here, so that's going to be where we were if we were Texas on top of California. Okay, so this is Texas over Alaska. Do you think Alaska is bigger or smaller than Texas? That's right. Alaska is still bigger. There's still a lot of different areas around Alaska that Texas isn't covering, but Texas is covering a majority of it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the different regions of Texas. So since Texas is so big, it's covering different regions of the United States, we have to kind of put Texas into different regions. So Texas has a lot of different regions inside of it. How many regions do y'all see here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 main regions of Texas. Do y'all know where Lubbock is? What region are we in Lubbock? That's right. We're in the Great Plains and the Central Plains region. All right, so let's go through on your note sheet. You do have an outline of the different regions of Texas, so make sure you are filling out those blanks. But these are the different regions of Texas. So let's talk about the Central Plains first. So the Central Plains, it has a very humid climate. Most of the year, very humid climate for most of the year. It's mostly in the eastern and southern portions of Texas, and it covers 1/3 of the state. So is that going to be one of our biggest regions? Yeah, definitely. Okay, so then we have the Central Plains. So it features with thick grasses and rolling grasslands, and Dallas is in that region. So does anybody have any family in Dallas? Awesome, yeah. Do y'all ever travel there? Yeah, it looks a lot different than Lubbock, right? Right. Okay. And then we have the Great Plains. So this is going to be most of the Panhandle. So this is where Lubbock is. So those that said that we were in the Great Plains, you are correct. That is where Lubbock is. So this is going to be, it has a lot of dust storms that are common, and it has very few large cities. So Lubbock is actually going to be the largest city. And then we have the Bassins and the Ranges regions. So it is the smallest region that Texas has. It was kind of right next to the little outskirt of Texas. And it is home to the Big Bend National Park. So that's one of the national parks that we have for the United States. So that's really cool that we have it in Texas. So now we're going to talk about Texas Capital. So does anybody know what is the Texas Capital? That's right, we talked about it earlier in this lesson. It is Austin. Remember, Austin's kind of lower in Texas because Lubbock is really high and Austin's going to be pretty low. So it is Austin. So make sure you're filling that out on your note sheet. So some fun facts about our capital, because it is a little bit different than most of Texas. So it began being the capital. It's the biggest capital in the United States. So that's really cool that we have that in Texas, because we are one of the bigger states in the United States. It was originally named the Waterloo. So that's because whenever Austin became the capital, there's a lot of water around it. So that's kind of how they named the capital, because they were like, Waterloo. So we're going to name our capital that. And then it became the capital in 1839. So that was a long time ago that Austin became our capital. So here's some pictures of Austin. So this is going to be one of the Austin murals that you see, and these have different things that are in Austin. So you'll see our capital in here. And then this is going to be the Austin the city line, building line that at night. So that's kind of cool, because we don't really see that in Lubbock, do we? All right, so we're going to start your partner work. So today it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to pick a partner, and you are going to get to choose a state that you want to be. So you're going to get a chance to be a state in the United States. And then you will make a poster and a 2-minute introduction to your state. You are going to be the state, so your introduction shouldn't be that Massachusetts is blah, blah, blah. It should be I am Massachusetts, and I love whatever you want to say. And then lastly, you're going to, your introduction should include its region and its capital. So we just went over all the regions of the United States and its capitals, and you can go back in your note sheets and look and see if you have forgotten what that capital was or that region, and you have to say that into your introduction, okay? Okay, so this is an example. So I am the state of Montana. My capital is Helena. I am in the western region in the United States. I love being next to my neighbors, South Dakota and North Dakota. And in the winter, I love all the snow that we get. So that's just a short little introduction. It's not going to be your 2-minute introduction, so you should have a lot more detail than I did, but I just wanted to give you a short blurb of what you could kind of start with. Does anybody have any questions? Awesome. Okay, so I will be circulating around, and I will be making sure that you are working with your partner. If you need to get the supplies are all going to be on that back counter where we keep our poster boards and markers. You should be working at a level 2, so only really, actually we'll change that to a level 1, so we're just going to be whispering, and your partner will be able to hear you, because we want it to be a surprise when we present, and we will present these introductions tomorrow, so you'll have a lot of time to work and make your poster very pretty. Alright, so y'all get to work.